The days of being wounded, exploited, and shattered are over. If you truly decide this, understand that no one is coming to rescue you. Nobody will wipe your tears or reconstruct your spirit. That responsibility rests solely with you. But I'm here to impart something that will fundamentally alter your life if you genuinely listen. Nothing and no one will ever harm you again once you seize absolute control. You might believe pain signifies weakness. Wrong. Pain is irrefutable proof you've endured. You are still standing. You've absorbed blows that would make most people crumble, yet you're still breathing. That makes you formidable. However, here's the unvarnished truth. People only inflict pain when you permit them. They hurt you when you surrender your emotions. You relinquished your power. Every instance you sought validation, every moment you allowed words to affect you, every time someone betrayed you and you disintegrated, that ends now. Command your mind and you command your world. Most individuals are slaves to emotion, walking targets, perpetually seeking sympathy. But when your mind is razor sharp, when you are fully engaged and disciplined, no one penetrates. They can knock, scream, insult, lie, cheat, but your gates are sealed. Not because you are heartless, but because you are unshakable. You are not here to be delicate. You are not here to be universally liked. You are here to be respected. And respect is not granted to the fragile. Respect is earned by the one who confronts the world and declares, "You will not break me." If you desire peace, then become someone with whom others do not wish to wage war. That is how you remain untouched, by transforming into someone they cannot touch. And those wounds from your past, those betrayals, heartbreaks, failures, do not conceal them. Wear them like impenetrable armor. That pain forged you. Let every scar serve as a testament that you have already survived hell. So why would you ever fear it again? You do not need closure. You do not need apologies. You do not need people to understand. You need to resolutely decide, I will never be wounded like that again. Because now you are no longer the victim. You are the one who enters rooms and fundamentally shifts the prevailing energy. You are the one who speaks and others listen intently. You are the one who knows precisely who they are and exactly what they will never tolerate again. You are the storm. You are the hammer. You are the unwavering standard. So incinerate the weakness, eliminate the excuses, and ascend. Nothing and no one will ever harm you again, because now you adamantly refuse to let them. Pain is among the most profoundly misunderstood phenomena in life. Most individuals attempt to flee from it. They endeavor to numb it, circumvent it, or pretend it never transpired. But the inherent truth is, pain is the most profound teacher you will ever encounter. Every instance someone deceived you, betrayed you, abandoned you when you needed them most, or attempted to demolish you with words or actions, that was pain knocking at your door, attempting to awaken you. The pervasive issue is that people squander that pain. They wallow in it. They permit it to consume them. They allow it to define them. That is the critical error. Pain is not present to annihilate you. It is here to sharpen you. When you were at your nadir, when you genuinely believed you could not persevere, that is precisely when your authentic strength was tested. Pain exerts pressure on your spirit akin to weights in a gymnasium. And just as in physical training, those who progress are the ones who push through the resistance. They do not lament and cease. They leverage the pain to become more potent. That precise moment when you were betrayed it instilled in you the discernment to identify disloyalty. That instance you were humiliated, it taught you to maintain your vigilance. That heartbreak, it unequivocally demonstrated that your emotions, if left unbridled, possess the capacity to destroy you. That failure, it revealed where you became complacent or arrogant. Pain communicates the unvarnished truth. It disregards your sentiments. It meticulously highlights precisely what necessitates transformation. Frail individuals complain about pain. They attribute blame to the world, their past, their parents, their former partner, their employer, the government. They invent justifications, but justifications do not forge warriors. Pain does, and warriors are those who absorb every impact, every setback, every loss, and construct from it. They confront the pain and express thank you. Because they comprehend that without the pain, they would still be tender, still gullible, still feeble. Pain compelled them to evolve. Every time life strikes you, it is testing your mettle. Will you fracture or will you adapt? Most individuals remain broken. They live in a perpetual fear, desperately attempting to evade pain at all costs, which is why they remain mediocre. But you, if you aspire to be unassailable, if you wish to guarantee that nothing and no one ever harms you again, you must embrace pain. Scrutinize it, master it, allow it to propel you, let it fortify you, let it ignite that internal fire that perpetually blazes. When you cease perceiving pain as an adversary and begin to view it as your most invaluable mentor, everything undergoes a metamorphosis. You cease being apprehensive. You cease being fragile. You cease being overtly emotional. You cease being concerned with trivial opinions, disrespect, or minor setbacks. You stand tall and confront everything head on because you intrinsically know pain did not dismantle you. It constructed you. It meticulously prepared you for every challenge the world will inevitably hurl your way. Control is paramount. Without it, you are merely a marionette manipulated by the strings of other people's actions, utterances, and perspectives. The primary reason most individuals are repeatedly harmed is their utter lack of self-control. They react emotionally to every stimulus. Someone utters something disrespectful, and they erupt. Someone departs their life, and they disintegrate. Someone deceives them, and they spiral into disarray. That is demonstrative of profound weakness. Genuine strength emanates from the mastery of your emotions. You cannot control the world. You cannot control how others treat you, but you possess absolute control over how you choose to respond. That is where the ultimate power resides. When you react impulsively without forethought, you are effectively ceding your power to someone else. You are implicitly informing them. You dictate how I feel, how I think, what I do. Such a mindset renders you a vulnerable target. It makes you effortlessly manipulable. But when you seize complete control of your thoughts and actions, no one possesses that dominion over you. The world inherently respects individuals who are in control, not those who weep over every slight or lose their composure over every trivial problem. It respects those who maintain their composure under duress. Those who steadfastly continue moving forward regardless of the chaos enveloping them. That caliber of control renders you formidable because people cannot decipher you. They cannot anticipate your reactions. They are clueless as to what will truly affect you because nothing does. You have meticulously trained your mind to remain imperturbably focused regardless of external circumstances. Control also inherently signifies discipline. You do not permit your emotions to dictate your decisions. You do not pursue ephemeral feelings. You do not fall into traps actuated by fear, anger, jealousy, or fleeting desire. You engage in long-term strategic thinking. You meticulously calculate. You uphold your unwavering standards. You diligently safeguard your inner peace. You judiciously decide who gains access to your inner world. Most people permit virtually anyone to infiltrate their life and negatively impact their energy. That is why they are perpetually wounded. They are indiscriminately open to everything. But when you are in control, you do not permit just anyone to approach closely. You guard your energy as if it were an invaluable treasure, because it undeniably is. This elevated level of control does not manifest instantaneously. It necessitates rigorous training. Every instance you experience the impulse to react, you steadfastly resist it. Every time you feel the compelling urge to justify yourself to someone inconsequential, you maintain eloquent silence. Every time you sense weakness insidiously creeping in, you forcefully remind yourself of your intrinsic identity. You remind yourself of every adversity you have survived, every achievement you have painstakingly constructed. You remain firmly grounded in your overarching purpose, not your transient emotion. And gradually, that control becomes second nature. It becomes your unyielding armor. When you are in control, people can attempt to harm you, but they will unequivocally fail because their power fundamentally resides in your reaction. And when you offer them absolutely nothing, they are rendered utterly powerless. They can unleash pandemonium in your direction, but you remain serene. They can attempt to bait you, but you steadfastly refuse to bite. They can attempt to break you, but you remain resolutely steadfast. Control bestows freedom. Control bestows strength. Control is the irrefutable reason you ascend, while others falter. Weakness is akin to blood in the water. It inexorably attracts sharks. When you navigate life exhibiting hesitation, insecurity, emotional instability, or palpable fear, you are essentially granting the world implicit permission to target you. People may not even act consciously, but they intuitively sense it. It is palpable in your posture, your vocal tone, your silences, your inability to articulate your needs, your incessant craving for approval. That pervasive energy communicates to the world that you are effortlessly manipulable, easily exploited, easily broken. And when people perceive weakness, they relentlessly test boundaries. They push limits. They begin to systematically extract from you your invaluable time, your precious energy, your fragile confidence. This phenomenon occurs in romantic relationships, in professional environments, and even within the confines of friendships. Weakness beckons predators because it conveys a clear message: there will be no adverse consequences for their actions. The unvarnished truth is that people solely respect strength. They might offer sympathy for weakness, but they unequivocally do not respect it. And in a world that operates primarily on the dynamics of power, being respected is of far greater importance than being merely liked. People are not going to treat you fairly simply because you are benevolent or because you harbor good intentions. That is a deceptive fabrication you have been led to believe. The world respects what it fears. The world respects what it cannot control. That is precisely why strength must become your default operational setting. Not a facade of confidence, not baseless arrogance, but genuine strength that is forged from rigorous discipline, profound self-awareness, and hard-earned experience. Strength that silently declares, "I have traversed through hell, and I am still standing resiliently. Do not dare to test my resolve. This does not necessitate walking around seeking confrontations or adopting an emotionally frigid demeanor. It fundamentally means you move through life with an unwavering certainty. You communicate with absolute clarity. You do not solicit validation. You understand your inherent worth, and you demonstrate it through decisive, assize actions, not mere words. You establish unwavering life standards and meticulously enforce them. You possess defined boundaries, and people instinctively know not to transgress them. That precise energy is what effectively repels the wrong individuals. The more formidable you become, the less you have to contend with disrespect. This isn't because the world miraculously transforms into a gentler place, but because it recognizes better than to attempt to challenge you. And when individuals do foolishly try, they swiftly learn that you are no longer the same person they once casually disregarded. You do not collapse when circumstances deteriorate. You do not pursue individuals who fail to acknowledge your intrinsic value. You do not disintegrate over minor setbacks or petty insults. You have masterfully transmuted your EVS pain into impenetrable armor. You have skillfully converted your WAS losses into invaluable lessons. You have deliberately honed your WAS fear into unwavering focus. And that profound evolution renders you truly unassailable. Most people actively endeavor to circumvent conflict because they are inherently fearful. But when you possess true strength, you do not dread confrontation. You simply rarely necessitate it. People intuitively sense your powerful presence. They know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are not someone to trifle with. That is the authentic manifestation of Eller real power. It is silent. It is meticulously controlled, and it is undeniably potent. You were not placed on this earth to be trodden upon, walked over, or exploited. You were fundamentally built to rise. You were purposefully constructed to lead. But to achieve that, you must systematically eradicate weakness. You must meticulously eliminate every single excuse, every single apology for the formidable person you are. Weakness is not an inherent flaw, it is a conscious choice. And the instant you decisively choose strength, the world will invariably treat you with a profound difference. Respect does not emanate from politely asking, from being overly amiable, or from wistfully hoping others will recognize your worth. It fundamentally stems from power. In this unforgiving world, if you are not robust, you will be systematically ignored, disrespected, exploited, or summarily replaced. People only genuinely respect what they cannot manipulate or control. If you are excessively preoccupied with being universally liked, you will be effortlessly walked over every single time. The sobering truth is, being liked is utterly useless if it comes at the exorbitant cost of your self-respect. You do not triumph by desperately begging for peace. You triumph by transforming into the kind of individual who has no need to even request it, because no one would ever dare to bring conflict to your doorstep. You earn respect through the dignified way you conduct yourself, the authoritative manner in which you speak, the purposeful way you move. You earn it through rigorous, far as discipline, unwavering consistency, and undeniable presence. You enter a room, and people distinctly perceive something different. They instinctively know you are not someone they can casually talk down to, slyly manipulate, or brazenly disrespect. This is not because you resort to yelling or feigning toughness, but because your very energy communicates that you are utterly in control. They discern that you do not tolerate nonsense, that your time is exceptionally valuable, that you do not offer explanations to individuals who are inconsequential. That particular brand of power is profoundly magnetic. It compels people to deliberate thoroughly before ever contemplating crossing you. When you are truly powerful, peace becomes a natural byproduct. You eliminate the need to frantically resolve issues caused by permeable boundaries. You avoid becoming entangled in trivial drama, insidious betrayal, or overt disrespect. People either learn to respect you or they voluntarily remove themselves from your orbit. Either outcome represents your unequivocal victory. And if someone still inexplicably decides to test your resolve, you respond with unwavering strength, not fleeting emotion. You do not become emotionally volatile when someone attempts to provoke you. You do not implore people to treat you with decency. You unequivocally demonstrate that you do not require their presence. That is precisely how you establish the standard. It is not about being feared without just cause. It is about being profoundly respected because you have made it unequivocally clear that you have zero tolerance for nonsense. You do not react impulsively to every minor provocation. You do not engage in futile arguments with fools. You do not expend energy defending your position to individuals who contribute no tangible value. Your power originates from your profound self-knowledge, knowing precisely who you are, what you unequivocally stand for, and what you will absolutely never countenance again. And once people grasp that fundamental truth, they will either conform or fall by the wayside. Weak individuals attempt to maintain peace by assiduously avoiding conflict. Strong individuals, conversely, create peace by being too unshakable to provoke. That is why individuals who perpetually chase approval are inevitably wounded. They bend, they shrink, they utter yes, when their true desire is to say no. And then they perplexedly wonder why no one takes them seriously, simply because they have never definitively stood for anything. Respect does not originate from silence. It emanates from certainty. When people become aware that you will not tolerate manipulative games, they cease playing them. When they understand that you will depart without a second thought, they stop taking you for granted. That is the unparalleled power of being strong. You do not force peace, you command it. You do not beg for respect, you become an individual who simply does not exist without it. Your past is not a source of shame. It is not something to conceal, to efface, or to deny. It is, in fact, your most potent source of his power. Everything that attempted to shatter you, every unfortunate turn of events, every painful experience, those defining moments meticulously sculpted you into the remarkable person you are today. People expend an inordinate amount of time wishing their past were different, attempting to obliterate it from memory, acting as though it never occurred. But what they fail to grasp is that the pain, the numerous setbacks, the profound disappointments, and the bitter betrayals were all absolutely indispensable. Without them, you would not possess the strength you now command. Without them, you would not possess the acute awareness you now exhibit. Without them, you would not discern what perils to guard against. Your past furnished you with the essential tools not only to survive, but to triumph. Even if you couldn't perceive it at the time, when you were broken, when you felt utterly adrift, when the world seemed to abandon you, that was precisely when your authentic character was meticulously forged. You did not crumble. You persevered. You might have crawled through the darkness, but you unequivocally did not quit. You might have shed tears, but you steadfastly did not surrender. And that speaks volumes about your inherent resilience. That declares you are not weak. That confirms you possess the extraordinary capacity to manage challenges that most individuals simply cannot endure. That crucible of experience granted you a decisive edge. It bestowed upon you profound awareness. It imbued you with unyielding grit. Now, when someone attempts to manipulate you, you instantly recognize the telltale signs. When someone utters a falsehood, you can intuitively sense it. When someone endeavors to engage in deceitful games, you already comprehend their inevitable conclusion. Your past did not destroy you, it rigorously trained you. Every mistake imparted a crucial lesson on what not to tolerate. Every heartbreak illuminated the true nature of genuine value. Every failure unveiled a facet of yourself that demanded elevation and improvement. All those disheartening low moments were not wasted. They were invaluable Oscar's lessons. And now, you carry that profound knowledge with you as an integral part of your being. It is evident in your astute decisions. It resonates in your confident silence. It manifests in the unwavering manner in which you safeguard your energy and establish your impenetrable boundaries. You are no longer the person you once were. You have profoundly evolved. You have transcended the previous version of yourself that permitted such profound pain to enter your life in the first place. People will inevitably attempt to dredge up your past, to diminish you, to make you feel as though you haven't fundamentally changed. But you owe absolutely no one an explanation for who you used to be. You are definitively not that person anymore. The mistakes, the losses, the lingering regrets, they do not define your current self. What unequivocally defines you is how you emerged from all of it. How you painstakingly transformed every scintilla of pain into an unstoppable force of power. That is what renders you genuinely formidable now. You are no longer naive. You are not easily deceived. You have witnessed the absolute worst, and yet you have resolutely pressed onward. You have traversed through hell and emerged stronger than ever before. There is nothing more potent than an individual who fully embraces their past and leverages it as a formidable asset. That particular mindset renders you utterly unstoppable. You no longer fear being harmed again because you have already confronted it and meticulously learned from it. You no longer fear the unknown because you have already triumphed over chaos. Your past is not a vulnerability. It is your irrefutable proof that no matter what challenges loom ahead, you are already perfectly equipped to conquer them. You have spent far too long passively waiting for someone to protect you, to defend you, or to rescue you from the surrounding chaos. You waited interminably for the apology that never materialized, the crucial support that never appeared, the steadfast loyalty that never endured. But that debilitating mindset concludes now. You are no longer the victim. You are the aviator's weapon. You are the inexorable force that navigates life entirely on your own terms. Individuals who perpetually live as victims never achieve significant progress. They are constantly seeking external sources for safety, for answers, for approval. They willingly relinquish control. They attribute blame to everyone else for their emotional state, and consequently, they remain ensnared in debilitating cycles of weakness. But the moment you flip the switch and viscerally comprehend that you are the protector, not the one in need of protection, everything undergoes a radical transformation. Being the weapon signifies not merely being prepared to retaliate. It means you are fundamentally built to dominate, not through overt violence or boisterous displays, but through your commanding presence, through your rigorous discipline, through your decisive actions. You do not implore people to remain. You do not plead for kindness. You do not ask for respect. You unequivocally as demand it. This demand is conveyed through the very essence of who you are, the purposeful way you carry yourself, the unwavering manner in which you meet people's gaze, the authoritative way you articulate your thoughts, the profound composure you maintain when others succumb to disarray. That precisely is power. That is the tangible manifestation of being the weapon. No panic, no fear, just absolute and complete control over who you are and what you choose to permit into your life. Victims crumble when life presents formidable challenges. Weapons, conversely, sharpen under intense pressure. You have already been rigorously tested. You have personally experienced betrayal, failure, profound disappointment, and agonizing pain. And yet, here you remain, still breathing, still resolutely pushing forward. That unequivocally signifies that something profound within you refuses to yield. That is the very core of your power. It is not about avoiding the conflict, but about possessing the absolute certainty that you will survive it. It is not about evading the blows, but about resolutely standing firm and absorbing them if necessary, and still advancing with unshakable focus and crystal clear clarity. You do not require people to feel pity for you. You do not need to articulate explanations for your scars. You wear them with undeniable pride, like a badge of honor. They unequivocally demonstrate that you have triumphed over experiences that most individuals could never withstand. That is precisely why you no longer require external validation. You validate yourself. You gaze into a mirror and comprehend with absolute certainty precisely who you are. Without a shadow of a doubt, what immense obstacles you have overcome. Intimately, what you are truly capable of achieving. Nobody can seize that from you. Nobody can disrupt that kind of confidence, because it's genuinely earned, not merely handed to you. From this moment onward, you act with deliberate purpose. Every move you execute is carefully calculated. Every word you utter carries significant weight. Every decision you make is rooted in strength, not in paralyzing fear. You do not buckle under pressure. You pressurize. You lead. And when people observe you, they instinctively know they are not encountering an ordinary individual. They are dealing with someone meticulously forged by pain, intensely focused by past failures, and profoundly driven by something far deeper than superficial comfort or external approval. You do not enter situations wondering if you'll be harmed. You stride in with the absolute certainty that no matter what transpires, you will adeptly handle it. You have evolved to be too formidable to be broken, too keenly aware to be deceived, too unshakable to be rattled. You are not idly waiting to be rescued. You transform into the person others observe, respect, and ultimately follow. That is precisely what unfolds when you cease being the victim and decisively become the weapons. The world possesses no concern for your feelings. It exclusively responds to ours power. And true power does not originate from feigning strength. It is meticulously earned through endured pain, unwavering self-control, relentless discipline, and profound self-respect. You have been wounded. You have been rigorously tested. You have been betrayed. Yet, you are still standing. This unequivocally signifies that you already possess every essential quality to ensure that nothing and nobody will ever cause you pain again. This isn't because life magically becomes simpler, but because as you become stronger, because you cease idly waiting for someone else to protect you and instead become the very person who safeguards yourself. You become truly untouchable by mastering your emotions, systematically eliminating weakness, commanding unwavering respect, leveraging your past as potent fuel, and fully embracing the mindset of a weapon, not a victim. From this precise moment forward, you do not politely ask for peace, you resolutely enforce it. You do not seek external validation, you powerfully embody it. You do not fear pain, you welcome it as an invaluable tool. Nothing and nobody will ever inflict harm upon you again. Not because they won't attempt it, but because now they simply cannot.